All right, thank you very much, everybody. And it's my pleasure now to introduce Linda Hartman. Linda has been an instructor here at Southeast Community College for a number of years. She's the co-chair of the Business Administration program here at Southeast. She has a lot of business background, and I think it's safe to say she's one of Southeast's most talented instructors. And she was also a huge help to me when I got here 5.5 years ago. Part of my responsibilities are to teach 2 classes every quarter. I had never been an instructor before, and Linda was a huge help and still is. So, Linda, thank you for being here, and we look forward to what you've got to say.
Thanks. Okay, and I definitely do not teach with the microphone on, so I know I'm going to bump this thing and everything else. So, thank you. I don't have to stand in the square, do I? Because I can't do that because I'm a teacher. So, thank you for coming today, and I'm excited to be here, and quite frankly, just a little nervous for some reason. I don't know why. I teach every day and do all kinds of facilitating and things with the college, but I'm excited to be here. And just a little bit of history about me. I started in retail eons ago. And I worked in retail for about, 15, 20 years, and I was looking for something new to do, and I didn't know what that was going to be. I was really getting tired of working nights and weekends, and frankly was spending a lot more time trying to figure out who was going to watch the kids than I was doing my job. So it got to be a little frustrating. So I was kind of venting to one of my good friends who happened to be a customer one day, and she said, you know, you should go teach at SCC. And I'm like, I don't even know what that looks like, but tell me more. And so we went to coffee a few times, and she kind of convinced me that I could do something like that. I hadn't been in a college classroom for about 20 years, so I wasn't real sure what that was going to be like, but it was a big leap of faith. I just started as an adjunct instructor, teaching a couple of introduction to business classes. I'd been a training store manager. I worked in retail at a couple companies that aren't in business anymore, Cypress and Mark Henry, that have been out of business for, I don't know, probably 30 years now. And then I was a training store manager with Talbot's, which is a store that's out at South Point now. When we were first in Lincoln, we were across the street over here where the iMasters or whatever that is over there. So I haven't moved very far, really. So when we first opened Talbot's, though, it was here by Gateway, and then we moved to South Point. So anyway, fast forward to teaching, and I was an adjunct for a few years, and I really liked it. I started teaching kind of a variety of different classes. I was teaching everything from Microsoft applications, which was probably not the best place for me to be using my teaching skills, but it was a great learning experience for me, like any teaching job, right? It was a great learning experience. But I taught everything from anything but accounting and economics. So management, marketing, customer service, visual merchandising, all kinds of classes. So I always say that my favorite class is whichever one I'm teaching at the time. It's kind of like your children, you know, you can't really pick one. But probably customer service is where my passion lies, just because I worked in it for so long. I really want people to know what good service looks like. And so when Brooke asked if I was interested in doing a coffee and said I could do whatever topic I wanted, I thought, well, customer service it is. So anyway, I did spend several years here at the Entrepreneurship Center as a business coach and whatever else. I was also teaching at the same time, so I was doing kind of half and half, teaching and working here as a business coach. So I have a soft spot for the focus suites too. So it's fun to see so many new faces and all of the people that, that we've had some consistency, and we also have a lot of new people that come from time to time too. And I try to get here for coffee, but absolutely love having it recorded, except for today. I love having the video, because if there's a speaker that I can't get to see, I always go on YouTube and watch the videos, so I appreciate that. So as an instructor, I have activities for you. Did y'all get an index card and a pen? So one of the things that I like to do in my classes is just, we're going to go through some of the activities that I do in my customer service class, and I teach it online most of the time. Once in a while I do it in the classroom. But even online, we do some of these kind of same activities. So I want you to just take a second and jot down who you think gives the best customer service in town. This first one that pops in your mind. Who gives the best customer service in town?
Also, we are going to have a drawing, right? And so I'll be passing this around. Throw your business card in here if you want to win a valuable prize.
All right, everybody have one? No? No? Nobody gives good customer service? That's pretty sad. All right, so who popped in your mind? Just anybody shout it out.
Ace Hardware.
Ace Hardware, oh, good one. Okay.
Honda of Lincoln.
Honda, yes, one of my favorites.
Runza?
Runza, okay.
Duto Subaru.
Duto.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, Chick-fil-A, okay.
Aloe.
Aloe, okay, I've heard that a lot, and I'm not an Aloe customer, but I've heard it enough that if I'm ready to switch, I'm going to Aloe. Yeah. Madonna, okay, like Madonna Rehab, just the whole thing, okay. Well,
There's this really great company called Link Track GPS Solutions.
Link Track.
They give excellent service.
I am really glad that you say your own company, because if you don't think you're giving good service, you know, that's kind of sad. So, and I hope you said Union Bank.
I did.
Okay. All right. So then my next question is why? So think about that for just a second. Why do they come to mind? Nobody mentioned Hy-Vee, which I'm really kind of surprised, because I always have students that say Hy-Vee. And I think it's drilled in their head to help a smile in every aisle, and that just sounds like really good service. So, but why? Stacia?
I just said we take the time to listen.
Okay, take the time to listen. Great. Who else? Mhm. Go ahead, Justin.
I couldn't think of one, but I'm also tired of actually saying that. Like, yeah, of course, UBT.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just talking about it.
Do that exactly. It's one place where I go in there, I feel like they actually care about my business, what
Okay.
I'm doing, they get my phone calls back.
Caring,
It doesn't matter what branch
responsive.
I go to, I like it. I don't
Okay.
have a particular branch.
Perfect.
You gotta talk to a warm body.
What's that? What'd you say?
Back to Madonna.
Uh-huh.
The why is the results that comes from that,
Okay.
and the individual care that they give patients
Okay.
and people that go through.
The individualized attention, individual care, yes, customizable, right? And then in the back, somebody had
Well,
another.
It's not an 800 number, it's not automated, 30 minutes of automated go through prompts. A good service, you know, you're getting a warm body, maybe that's the phone right away.
Very good, okay. Yeah, all of those things, all of those things. So think about what your customers are getting and think about, you know, are you delivering that on a regular basis? The other thing we talk about a lot in my class is consistency. So just that, you know, like you said, every location, it doesn't matter which location you go to, you get the same thing. Same with Chick-fil-A. I feel it doesn't matter which location I go to, I get the same thing. And I can depend on it. So, and I would argue, and we talk about this in class a little bit, that it's better to even be consistently bad than to be inconsistent. If you're, I mean, and I'm not proposing anyone be consistently bad, but there are some companies like Fry's Electronics on the West Coast that has a reputation for not providing service, but that's what their customers expect. So the expectations gap, think about where you go that you have pretty low expectations. And you don't have to say it out loud, but we all might think of a common retailer, big box retailer, that we pretty much have a low bar of, I'm not saying I shop there 3 or 4 times a week. I'm a very loyal customer to this business, but my expectations for service are like this.
Yeah.
I really don't expect anything, but I don't really need anything either. But I love to do my self-checkout. What I value is very different than what someone else might value. So I love to be able to bag my own groceries, and I love to be able to scan my own groceries, because I've always thought I was better than that, you know, better at that than the cashier was in the first place, right? So I kind of get frustrated when I go places that actually have really good service in those areas, because I'm like, oh gosh, they put my vegetables in with my Kleenexes or whatever, you know. I like don't want to go there. Maybe I'm just too particular maybe. So just, again, something to think about. If I'm going to buy a vehicle, for example, I have a pretty high bar. I've always wanted to buy a Lexus, but I know if I ever went into the Lexus dealership, my bar is up here, and if they're meeting me down here, I'm going to be really disappointed. So if they're not giving me coffee when I walk in, or a bottle of water, or offering me some of those kinds of things, I'm going to be really disappointed. So think about the expectations gap between what you want and what you're getting. So again, just something to think about. So another activity for you, I want you to, on your index card, I want you to write your 3 biggest peeves in customer service. What are your 3 biggest peeves? This is easy, right? This is easy. Everybody's got things that annoy them with customer service. And somebody mentioned one of them already. I know it's going to be on everybody's card. The tree that you get for when you call a business and it sends you to their automated service. Automated service comes up almost every time. Automated phone service. So why do they use it? And it's kind of funny because Walmart's one of the only ones, I didn't mean to mention by name. Walmart's one of the only companies you can call and they actually do answer the phone. Kind of interesting. All right, who's got a good one? Yep.
Overscripting.
Over what?
Overscripting. The
Over-scripting.
CSR is overscripted.
Oh, okay,
They just
okay.
rattle off.
Okay, yep, they just have their, this is what we're supposed to say. Okay, over-scripting.
And along with
I like
that, I put down, not willing to listen.
Not willing to listen. Okay, very good, very good. Yes, in the back.
They don't thank me for my business.
Okay.
They say, here you go, and I end up being the one that says thank you.
That's pretty basic, right? Not thanking you for their business, yeah. Yeah.
The
great.
lack of knowledge of their own product.
Oh, really good one. Lack of knowledge of their own product, yeah.
The educating me on their policy.
Oh, okay, yes, we don't do it that way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's our policy too.
It's our
I don't
policy,
care
yeah.
what your policy is.
Standing behind the policy, absolutely, yeah.
When you return something, you store credit instead of giving your money back.
Okay, annoying,
Yep.
absolutely.
When you walk into a store and they literally don't look at you or welcome you or even turn their back on you. And when I was buying my first cell phone 400 years ago, that happened to me in about 5 different places.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why I bought the phone I bought and used the provider that I've been using, because I finally walked into the store. They were all
Someone
over it.
helped
They
you.
explained to me what I needed.
Okay.
I probably pay more than I should, but it was worth it.
Okay, very good. One more, Doris.
Not being present. I was looking at cell phones.
Let's see what Megan's looking
And the young man kept looking at his watch. I finally said, are you supposed to be at lunch or something? He goes, no, why? I said, we keep looking at your watch. He goes, no, I'm testing Fitbits.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm going, okay,
Oh.
maybe you should have told me that, up front.
Yeah, maybe you
I'm
might
sorry.
not have wanted to help me if you
I
were
got from him.
busy doing something else, being task oriented, right?
Well, not
Or
being
just
present.
this
I'm the
distracting.
customer. I'm right there in front of you. If you're gonna be distracted, you need to say, yeah, I'm
Yes.
kind of doing this too, so please excuse me.
Okay,
So,
absolutely.
I worked in retail for 15 years. I know a little bit about customers.
I think everyone should have to work retail
Yes.
and food service at some point in their lives. I think it should be a requirement, like adulting 101, so. Okay, so now one other step on your 3 peeves. I want you to identify if that peeve is a people problem, so put a P by it if it's people. Put an S by it if it's a system problem. So again, maybe it's an automated phone service, something like that. Is it a system problem? Or a V if it's a value problem. So maybe quality or something along those lines if it's a value problem.
Well, people
Okay.
can be a value problem too.
Yeah, very good. I'm getting there. But that's okay. You're ahead of me.
All 3.
Yep. Everybody got a PV or S? What are most of them? Are they people problems? Or they people problems? Okay. again, like you said, sometimes it may look like a people problem, but it might be a system problem. So, for example, in my class, some students are annoyed with a particular retailer in town, happens to be a Nebraska-based business retailer, and you might know who they are. They are known for their, they call them aggressive salespeople, right? You are greeted immediately when you walk in the door. You can't get to the back of the store without being greeted. You all know who I'm talking about, I'm sure. They call it a challenge to walk into the store. But that's a system. I mean, if you're annoyed by that, that's the system. That I worked for that company for about 2 years when I was in college, and we were trained like that 30 years ago to give that kind of service. There's a reason that retailer is still in business and still successful when a lot of other retailers have gone by the wayside, because I know that if I want to be helped and if I want to be waited on, I'm going to go to that retailer. Okay, so that's the company places a value on service. I mean, we had try-ons all the time. We knew exactly how every pair of jeans in the store fit because we knew our product. We had that knowledge. We were able to help customers so much better. We were required to bring things to them in the dressing room. Like, would you love that service sometimes if somebody actually brought you another size or another style of something that you ended up liking more than what you took in there in the first place? So just things like that. So other things that you identified, so people problems, that know what it truly is. Identify it correctly. What other values, what systems problems did you come up with? Anybody with some systems problems, Steve?
I had, one of my pet peeves is gross waiting rooms.
Oh,
And I
okay.
think that's a system problem.
It's a system
and that
problem.
They ought to have somebody checking those,
Okay.
cleaning them,
Okay.
monitoring them.
Right, right. And managing the wait time kind of goes along with that too. Do they have things for you to do while you're waiting so it doesn't seem like forever? I've been in my dentist's office and I get so engrossed in a magazine, I'm like, I don't really want to go back. And not just because it's my dentist, I like my dentist, but I want to sit there and because their waiting room is comfortable and I get comfortable and engaged in what I'm doing, and I know they're managing the wait time very well. So, okay. Any others?
There's, to me, a combination of people and system is follow-up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the people side of that is just caring enough to do it.
Okay.
The system side is having worked with several different kinds of CRM systems.
Mm-hmm.
The follow-up doesn't always have to be that same day.
Right.
Follow-up can be a week later. But if they don't have a system to go along with the process, and it doesn't happen, then you can just focus.
Exactly. Yeah, just that follow-up, just a thank you note, just something. I mean, even internal customer service, that's really important. Just saying thanks to people that help you internally too. So, all right. Anybody else? How about a value problem? Quality, yeah. Okay, yeah.
You're claiming that you have some
Okay.
sort of value, you're not actually.
Exactly, yeah. So not living up to expectations. If they claim something, but then they fall short of it, then you don't believe them, right? And again, inconsistency is so bad because I'm not going to recommend a business. I'm not going to tell somebody to go to a restaurant that I had a fabulous meal one time, I had really bad service the next time, I had great service this time. I'm not going to recommend that because I don't know what my friend's going to get. So again, just something to think about is managing those, identifying what problems your customers have and what the root cause is. So, all right. So one other activity I want you to do on the back side is I want you to write down what customers either in your business or in your industry, what your customers value. And I actually have cheat sheets. I have a list of values. So I want you to identify, do you want to just pass these? I want you to just take one and pass it back. I want you to identify what your customers value. So just off the top of your head, before these come around, think about what your customers value. What's important to them? Okay,
With SAP, we were an international software company, and most of the projects were $30 million projects, and so you clearly look at
absolutely, yeah.
And then we were successful because we identified those expectations.
Okay. So identify early on what the customer's expectations are, because you're not gonna aim what you're not gonna achieve what you're aiming at unless you know what you're aiming at, right? Okay. Who else has a good value?
Well, in my practice, the patients want to understand that I know what they're talking about. And I understand what their injury is, and spending some attention, personal attention to them, and not rushing them out of the door.
Okay.
I'm not fine with it.
Okay. That's come up several times, is actually taking time to know what the customer's pain is, right? And to listen, really. Okay. Dave?
When I go to Ace Hardware, I know kind of the I'll have I actually need,
Okay.
and I won't have to take them back
Okay.
because it's the wrong item.
Right.
The wrong part.
Because they listen to you, right? And they know their product.
They make sure that I get exactly what I need.
Yeah. And they probably think ahead to what else you might need, right? They anticipate you're gonna get home and also need
A
this.
lot of times I don't have a clue what it is I actually need.
Okay.
I just need this fixed.
All right, that's a great example. And you probably won't get that at some of the other big box, right? You won't get that. You might, hit or miss though. Again, consistently, I know I could go into ACE too and get, somebody's gonna help me, somebody's gonna tell me about the various ones. They're not gonna just read it off of the box, right? They know it. Yeah.
Trust.
Trust. Okay, how do you know your customers value trust?
The level of transparency.
Okay.
I talked about what I do in terms of the foundation, being able to sit down with people. I've been fortunate enough to know a lot of the people at our church and our business. And that's the one half. Before they're going to start telling me what kind of money they've got set aside or they're willing to share, they have to trust me.
Yeah, that it's actually going to go to what you say it's going to go to, and
And then on the legacy dynamic side, not as being done, but for me to be able to sit down and have somebody become transparent in terms of what their needs are, where they see themselves, and what they struggle with, there has to be a trust established. And that doesn't happen always the first time you meet.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to me, that's the key to it.
Okay. All right, so now a kind of a deeper thought. How do you know you've earned their trust? And especially sometimes you might only have one shot at them. They're not going to keep giving you, they might give annually or something like that. But if you're talking a substantial contribution, if you're going to get a major donation from someone, how do you know that you've built that trust? You get a check.
But just a quick example. Yesterday I met with a guy, I thought it was going to be 30 minutes. And he's a successful individual. We met for an hour and a half.
Oh my God.
At the end of the hour and a half, he said, I don't know why the foundation hasn't reached this level. I'm going to challenge you. I will get 5 more people that I know that used to be on the foundation with me. He was one of the original founders. And I'm going to ask each of those 5 guys for 5,000. And I want you 5 more, and we're going to put up 50,000 for this particular.
Wow. Wow. And I bet you.
That's a quick load.
Yeah, really. I bet you weren't doing this all the time, right? Looking at the watch to see how much time you had left or what time it was, or worried about your tea time or anything like that. So, yeah.
For us, it's repeat business.
Repeat business, okay.
Yeah.
And referrals, right?
Yeah,
Repeat
absolutely.
business and referrals,
Testimonials.
so it depends on the industry, right? So, all right, very good. Finally, one last thing. I know I don't have a lot of time left, but feedback was the last thing. Probably a good thing. How do you know you're doing a good job? Yeah.
When they return or they do send referrals.
Okay. When they send referrals, when they return, when they've told somebody else about it. What else? Yeah.
If you can show a return on their investment.
Okay. Ooh, that's a hard one. right? When you can show a return on the investment, that's a real good one.
Positive response on social media.
Okay, so let's talk about social media for a little bit. Have you done this in class yet, Justin, where you actually have to do some responses on social media? So, you'll get to it. It's coming. So, positive and negative comments on social media. What do you do with the negative ones? Oh, that was just that one customer. You ignore them. They'll go away, right? No. How do you respond to those negative comments on social media? Do you openly respond, come in for a free whatever? Sorry about that. Okay. That's usually, a lot of students will say they want a company to say, maybe you had a bad experience at Chick-fil-A. I can't imagine it, but maybe you had a bad experience at Chick-fil-A. In fact, my daughter just got a free meal from Chick-fil-A because she had something, I don't even remember what, something that went wrong at Chick-fil-A, and she's posted a comment on their Twitter, and they privately responded. They publicly said, apologized, and then reached out to her and then sent her something offline, right? They apologized publicly and then gave her something in response through a direct message. What you don't want to do is say, sorry about your experience, come in for a 10% discount or come in for a free meal, because then all you've done is open the door for other people to complain to get a free meal, right? So just being careful about how you're responding, so crafting those things properly. You can work with Diane, see, because I know she'd help you with those responses, positive and negative. I am a big feedback giver. So I'm all over TripAdvisor. I am one of the top reviewers in town on TripAdvisor. I review most restaurants, especially if I get good service. I really think it's important to praise good service and to make people know that you've got good service somewhere. So I am constantly posting when I get great service. I'm constantly posting about it. So I've written reviews all over town, and it's really interesting to see who responds to me when I do that. And I've done it in Florida. There was a restaurant that I went to in Florida. They thanked me publicly on their Twitter, and they also said, next time you come, you might want to check out our free parking. And I would use their free parking, but they use that as an opportunity to give further promotion about some of the other things that they offer in their services, which I thought was really good. So we've got some great resources. If you want, I've got a couple of links in my customer service class of some really good how-to tips on responding to positive and negative feedback on social media. So really is a great marketing tool, so use it that way and also respond to it. And those negative comments, I mean, I'll get a student in one of my classes that says, this assignment really wasn't very clear, and that's a great opportunity to make a correction, do those kinds of things. So use those positive and negative to your advantage. So, all right. That's really all I have for you today. So, except for a couple of prizes. So did everybody get entered in the drawing? Okay.
Everybody have an opportunity?
So, will you all promise, everybody will promise to give better customer service, right? And praise good customer service again. When you get it, praise it publicly, tell everybody you know about it. I just think it's important to kind of pass it on, pass it forward, giving good service and getting good service. So it's funny, in my online class, I always ask students what their 3 biggest takeaways are, and almost always they say they'll be a better listener, which I think is really ironic in an online class. We have a really neat assignment that they do to improve their listening skills, and they have to set some short-term and long-term goals and things to improve their listening skills. And it's one of the biggest takeaways in the class is that they say they're going to be a better listener. So be a better customer yourself. Again, just paying attention to when you get good service. So, all right, a couple drawings. I have, the first person drawn gets to choose. I have 2 gifts. I have a coveted, our SCC wooden pin with our new logo, which is pretty fun. And then when I was at Dunkin' Donuts this morning, they had these on the counter, and I just thought they were the cutest things ever. They're lip balm, but they're in this cute little thing. So packaging is everything, right? Don't have to tell marketing people about that, but it's Dunkin' Munchkins, but Dunkin' Munchkins. So the first chooser is Jeff. Jeff? So you get to choose. All right.
I'm shocked.
Consolation prize is Quentin. So you can re-gift if that's not if you're not a Dunkin' Donut flavor fan.
Well, Linda, thank you so much for being here today and presenting customer service to our group. We want to thank you. And I know you're a coffee drinker.
I am.
Enjoy. Thank you so much for being here. Please hang around and ask Linda questions afterwards. If you have questions about maybe customer service for your business, she can be real specific in her answer that way. And hang around as long as you like. There's no need to rush out. Meet somebody new before you leave. Exchange business cards. Check out the Focus Suites in the Sweet Spot. And we'll see you next week.
What's around there? What's around there?